fee appraisal on any property in the state of New York. They have to use the new technology today to try to get them as current and as equitable as possible, as we talked about earlier. But I mean, a lot of people forget that, we're not, we don't have the luxury of paying $400 to have a fee appraisal done on every property with a full-blown inspection and all the rest. And that's an important thing to understand, especially when you come in and talk to Joanne and staff and other support people in the spring of 2012. We're going to show you what we use. All the sales will be there for you to look at, not only on the internet, but we print out books for people to come in, especially in a neighborhood situation, depending on if you go to Goshen or wherever, or what other neighborhoods in the town. We'll put everything in order. It'll be there for you to look at, besides getting it off the internet. And then if you can say, well, these sales here aren't comparable, and you bring in something that's more comparable, we'll certainly take that information and use it. But, so, yes.
On that point, can you speak to what the methodology and process is going to be for arriving at an appraisal for assessment without a full inspection? Essentially, you're going to be doing what amounts to a drive-by. How are you going to come up with a fairly accurate appraisal of what...
for assessment purposes and for the dollars allocated to do it, not being a fee-based at $350 to $400, okay?
Use the most current, accurate information that's available, okay? Use the most, the biggest...
By which you mean comparables?
No, this is data.
Oh,
Data for starters.
Factual data.
Factual data, to the best of our ability and the assessor's ability. Okay, remember, all this is out there.
And
I go back to that because people help us in this process police the data.
Can you speak to that in more detail?
Yeah, if you had a finished basement and we send this out to you and you don't send it back that you finished it off, so maybe into the valuation cycle, you got a raised ranch, we got you 1,000 square feet with no finished basement, 5 of your neighbors from your street come in and say, his basement's fully finished. We go over there every time, watch football, play cards, do whatever, okay? Again, we can't go into everybody's house. Joanne and her staff, and no town assessor has the ability to go do that type of stuff. But this whole process is about fairness, using the tools that are available at a price that's affordable to local government. We certainly don't need to raise any more taxes, okay?
Not this year.
No, and as I said, this is how all these banks and all these insurance companies and all the other people that are dealing with value, for whatever reason, any one of those four before, banks, insurance companies, whatever, they're using this same data. That's why they'll give you a preliminary estimate. If you ask for $300,000 mortgage, the first thing they do is check your Social Security. Next thing they do is they punch in your Swiss code. And if they bought the local data from New York State, they bring up your tax map number. They go through and they look at it, and then they look at all the sales, just like we do. Okay? Is he wanting to buy a piece of real estate that's basically in a $300,000 market, and is it worth that? And that's why they'll tell you within 10 minutes whether they want you to come in and talk to you and pay the additional $50 to process file. Social Security number, where you are, and what are you talking.
So am I understanding you to say then that the largest driver of the end number is going to be comparables?
Comparables and data for residential.
Based on data which is
valid
basically
arm's length sales. Right. Valid arm's length sales, not foreclosures, not sales between relatives, or whatever else. Valid arm's length sales. Market.
What about properties that are bank owned? Will they be?
They still pay taxes and be appraised at the same.
So
price.
if it has reverted to the bank and is then sold.
A bank sale
out of
foreclosure is not an arm's
length. It will be excluded from your comparables.
Yes, absolutely. And we ask people, those sale prices get recorded, and if it's not a valid arm's length sale, hopefully we've caught it, but if it's not, you tell us that it's not a valid arm's length sale, because it was a bank foreclosure.
And can you also say something about what was mentioned earlier about the state overseeing this process over time?
They oversee us for two reasons: to make sure the job is done and done right for 2012. Okay, and I think that's the most important thing from their perspective. I'm sure from the supervisors and the town board and the other taxpayers within the town, most desirable factor. And then also for them to do that, and then they can turn around and grant the $5 a parcel or whatever.
What criteria do they apply in overseeing?
I'll let John answer that, I guess.
Basically, in terms of the verification work, we look at values at the aggregate. We do not come in and make judgments on individual properties. Is the value of this property right or not? We look at 4 groups of property: residential, commercial, vacant land, and there's a specialized unit in Albany that deals with utility properties. And essentially, our verification is meant to determine, did the town hit its stated level of assessment, which would be 100%. The town is going for assessments that represent 100% of value as of its July 1st, 2011 valuation date. At the aggregate, did they hit the mark for each of those 4 major types within a reasonable tolerance? I mean, nobody is that good to be able to say, that's the precise number that should be in place at the aggregate. So we do ratio analysis. We may do some individual appraisal review, say of commercials or things like that, but primarily it's ratio study. And if we find that the stated level of assessment or the ratio is within plus or minus 5% of the 100 that would appear on the roll, we accept it at the 100%.
Anybody else can answer a question, and if not, well, I guess John.
The name of the database on the web? Can you repeat that?
Pardon me?
The name of the database on the web?
John McCarty can answer
Yeah.
that.
You click on to Orange County website, www.co.orange.ny.us. Click on real property, and you will see image mate online. You click on that, and you can turn around and put in your name, your address, your section lot block, your street, your community, or anything else, and you get your complete assessment roll up. You also can see your tax map, you can see a photo of your property, and you can see copies of your tax bills and everything else currently for the last couple of years on that website. Their parcel information, a area photograph, and tax maps. And no cost for it. You should go on, you can check your personal property, you can check your neighbors, check the entire street or anything else. And we've been getting tremendous compliments on that throughout Orange County and throughout the state. The Orange County website is really got a lot of data on that website. Also, you can click on a lot of links. One link is the Office of Real Property Tax Service, which you can tie in and see all kinds of forms, exemption forms, guidelines for refouls, explanation of equalization rates, and all kinds of data onto that, and legal opinions and everything else. Orange County has been working with a number of communities, trying to get them to do revow, assessment verification, data collection. We're doing a project in town of Monroe for last year. We're looking to do 2 or 3 other projects. This is the ideal time to do it. 5-10 years ago, the market was going really quite radically up. Since 2008, 2009, it's been leveling off. There have been a downturn in 2009. The market is now stable again, and in the next 2 years, they're going to be kind of a flat, more stable market, not like the early 2000s where, you know, a house sold for $200 one month, the next month $220, and next month $240. So this is a perfect time to do it. There are new guidelines or uniform assessment standards which I think give every community a ideal floor plan or a guideline to do a reval or an assessment verification every 4 to 6 years. And the impact of your equalization rates